Today in our devotion, we're looking at Jesus as the Lord of Lords. And I'm actually standing here in Caesarea Philippi, which was 2,000 years ago named after both the Caesar in Rome, the emperor, and also Herod the Great's son, Philip, hence the name Caesarea Philippi. 2,000 years ago, one of the things that was debated, particularly amongst the people of God, was who really is the Lord? Is it Caesar in Rome, or is it Jesus the Christ? And in Matthew chapter 16, our passage for today, Jesus is here in Caesarea Philippi, and he asks Peter, "Who do men say that I am?" Peter gives him answers like, "Some say that you're Elijah, some say that you're John the Baptist." But Jesus is more interested in Peter's response. "Who do you say that I am?" And this is what Peter says. He says, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." And Jesus answers and says, "Blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood have not revealed this to you, but my Father who is in heaven. And I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it." Jesus, declaring himself as the Messiah, the Son of God, was declaring war against Rome and against ultimately anybody that would claim that they are Lord, whether it was the emperor in Rome 2,000 years ago or anyone today that declares their lordship over the world. You see, Jesus didn't come here to Caesarea Philippi. He didn't come into the world, for that matter, to simply rescue us and take us to heaven, but he came here to declare his lordship over the world. He came into a world that was trying to exercise their dominion, exercise their lordship over the world, and Jesus would have none of it. He was declaring his lordship and calling men and women to himself, building his church so that the gates of hell will not prevail against it. You see, anytime the principalities and the leaders of this world try to exercise their dominion, they try to exercise their lordship, Jesus always wants us to be reminded that there's only room in heaven and on earth for one Lord, and it's Jesus Christ. Jesus is not one of many lords. He is the Lord of lords. He is the King of kings. And so when he declares and says that I am the Lord, that I am the Messiah, that I am the Son of the living God, he does it right behind me. You see that hole behind me, that opening, that was referred to in the Roman pagan culture as the gates of hell. They would worship the pagan gods, and tragically, they would sacrifice their children, throw them into that hole, the gates of hell, in order to appease the gods, in order to have favor with the gods. So appropriately, Jesus says right here in front of the gates of hell, or at least what they thought were the gates of hell, that even the gates of hell will not prevail against what I'm doing here on earth. I am establishing my church. I am the Lord of my church. I am the King of my people. And it doesn't matter whether he's in Rome or Jerusalem or right here in Caesarea Philippi. No one claims to be Lord other than me. So this day, as we study Matthew 16 and we reflect on the life and the ministry of Jesus, may we be reminded that there is only room for one Lord in our lives, and that anyone else or anything else that tries to take over lordship or tries to have dominion in our life, that Jesus says, no, there's only room for one, and it is Jesus the Christ, who uses us as his church to build it, to advance his lordship throughout the entire world, declaring war against Satan and against the gates of hell.